Only in Kentucky could you convince millions of people they're landing on Ohio when they're actually in Kentucky, turn a zoning violation into the state's most beloved landmark, and launch American dinosaur science because Thomas Jefferson couldn't accept that giant elephants were dead. Hi, I'm Michael, and I want to teach you a little bit more about Kentucky, one county at a time, all 120 of them. And today we're talking about Boone County. Boone was formed in 1798, carved from Campbell County. It's named after Daniel Boone, the legendary frontiersman who basically invented Kentucky as a concept. If you're from Kentucky and don't know who Daniel Boone is, congratulations on your recent arrival to Earth. The county seat is Burlington, which started as Craig's Camp, not Craigslist, Craig's Camp in the 1790s, but it was renamed in 1816. It sits in the geographic center of Boone County, which made it the most logical choice for being the county seat when everyone had to travel by horse. Today, it's home to the county courthouse and government offices, and it's managed to keep that small town feel, even as the rest of Boone County exploded into Cincinnati suburbs. But when people think of Boone County, or at least when I think of Boone County, we think about the airport. The Cincinnati Northern Kentucky International Airport is in Boone County, not Ohio, Kentucky. We've been pulling off this geographic heist since 1947, and somehow people still don't really know. Every year, millions of travelers walk off the plane, see Welcome to Cincinnati, and have no idea they're standing in a completely different state. But here's the thing that really put Boone County on the map, even centuries before we stole Cincinnati's airport. Giant bones. Big Bone Lick is where Ice Age megafauna came to die, and also where American paleontology was born. For thousands of years, mastodons, mammoths, giant ground sloths, and prehistoric bison came to this salt lick for minerals. Some got stuck in the swamp and never left. Their bones accumulated for, millennia. And when European settlers found them in the 1700s, they clearly lost their mind because nobody knew what they were looking at. Some thought they were elephants from Hannibal's army. Others thought they were biblical giants. One French military officer claimed that they were proof of ancient carnivorous elephants that had eaten all of America's early humans. But then, Thomas Jefferson got involved. Jefferson was obsessed. Is one word I guess I could use. Absolutely obsessed. He was convinced that mastodons were still alive somewhere in the unexplored West, and he desperately wanted Lewis and Clark to find one. They didn't, but in 1807, Jefferson sent William Clark back to Big Bone Lick specifically to excavate fossils and ship them to Washington. As you can imagine, Clark spent weeks digging at bones and sent back over 300 specimens. Jefferson displayed them in the White House entrance hall like trophies. He wrote extensively about them. He helped establish that these were extinct species, not living animals, which was, at the time, a revolutionary idea. Most people believed God wouldn't allow his creations to go extinct. More on that in a second. Big Bone Lick became the most famous fossil site in America and launched American paleontology as a legitimate science. Today, you can visit Big Bone Lick State Historic Site, see fossil displays, walk the same ground where Jefferson's expedition dug, and watch real bison graze where their prehistoric cousins once died. But also, let's talk about Florence, y'all. In 1974, there was a water tower in Florence that said Florence Mall to advertise the new shopping center. There was a problem. Doing that violated federal regulations against advertising on water towers. So the city had to change it or tear it down. Thankfully, someone actually had a better idea. Just paint 2 vertical lines through the M and turn mall into y'all. It was supposed to be temporary, but obviously not. It's been there for like over 50 years now at this point. Florence, y'all, has become, I would say, an accidental icon. It's what people think about when they think about Northern Kentucky. It's been featured in national media. It's been called one of America's most famous water towers. And it started as a building code workaround. Boone County has exploded since the 1970s, of course. The population went from 32,000 in 1970 to over 135,000 today, making it one of the fastest growing counties in the state. Of course, the airport helped. The proximity to Cincinnati helped. But most people realized they could live in Kentucky, work in Ohio, and pay Kentucky taxes, which are lower. Going back to some of extinct species, the county is also home to the Creation Museum in Petersburg, which opened in 2007 and presents a young Earth creationist view of history, complete with dinosaurs on Noah's Ark. And whether you think it's fascinating or frustrating, it is one of the most visited attractions in the region, drawing hundreds of thousands of visitors annually. The county also produced Josh Hutcherson, who was born in Union in 1992. If you don't know him, he played PETA in the Hunger Games franchise. So that's all I got for Boone County. Basically, we stole Cincinnati's airport, launched American paleontology, and turned a zoning violation into the state's most iconic water tower. So, what'd I get wrong this time?